Welcome. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to print this photo in a 5x7 to our inkjet printer. Now, let me tell you some things that Adobe has said that the quality, the detail in a printed image depends on the image resolution, known as PPI, and the printer resolution, known as DPI. Remember that inkjet printers produce a spray of ink, not the actual dots, resulting in a usually 300 to 720 DPI. Remember, your monitor uses light and the printer uses inks. Since printers can't reproduce all the colors shown on monitors, we use color management to get as close as we can visually. Now you also have to remember that since most inkjets accept RGB information and then internally convert it to CMYK, leave your photo in RGB, as you can see here. Now Photoshop does provide a couple things to help you out. You can use the Proof Colors command to view your photo in CMYK, but ideally you want a calibrated monitor, a custom profile for your printer paper combination for each type of paper you use. So for example, if I'm printing a 5x7 on glossy paper, I want that printer profile, or a 5x7 on matte paper, I want that printer profile. Now, I do have a video in Photoshop Elements 10 that goes a little bit more into what color management is if you'd like to take a look at that. Now let's talk about a couple things here. We mentioned a couple commands. So if I have my photo here, let me increase it. There we go. And I go to View. One of the first things you can set up is Proof Setup. And I have Proof Setup on Working CMYK. You can choose other ones here if you like, but I just leave it on Working CMYK. And then you have the Proof Colors, shortcut Control Y. When you click this, you can see how it would look in CMYK and see if there's any difference. And then you press Control Y and you can change it back. Now you're probably saying, well, I don't believe that you changed it. I can't tell the difference. Look right here. CMYK. Watch when I press Control Y. Changes back to RGB. There's not that much of a difference. So I go, okay, so far this seems good, but let me go to gamut warning. Now that shortcut Control Shift Y, but I usually just go to View Gamut Warning. Look what happens. You can see the gamut warning is showing this is going to have a hard time to print, so I would have to go back and fix that, probably lighten up his shirt area. So let me go back to View Gamut Warning. Yeah, I'm going to have to probably lighten that area up to take care of it, or it can be overly saturated, so I'd have to go use hue saturation and decrease some of the saturation. Now another thing you're probably asking is, hey, how come yours is a different color than mine on the gamut warning? Well, if you go to Edit, Preferences, and Transparency and Gamut, you'll see right here gamut warning. The color that they choose is a gray color, which to me is kind of hard to see in the photos. So I like to choose a bright green color, so I'm making sure I'm going to see it. So let me go ahead and click cancel. Let me turn off the gamut warning here. Alright, so now I've proofed my colors. I've checked my gamut warning to see if it's acceptable or not. Sometimes Photoshop errs on the conservative side, so sometimes you need to print these out to see how it works for you. Now I want to print a 5x7. So what I'm going to do is double click the hand tool. Excuse me. There we go. Sorry, I was right. And I'm going to go to Image, Image Size, and I'm going to see that I have 69.9 million pixels. That's a lot of pixels for a 5x7. So in order to change the document sizes, you always have to uncheck Resample Image, which locks these pixels down and allows you to play with the settings here. So I'm going to change the width to, let's say, 7. And as we can see here, the height doesn't match 5, so that means I would have to go back and choose 8. But then my resolution is 536. An acceptable range resolution is 240 to 300, 200 to 300, but 500 is just overdoing it. Anything under 200, you're probably going to have some banding, posterization, and things of that sort. You don't want that. So there's something I need to fix this. So for me to fix it, I'll cancel out of the here. I actually go to my crop tool. I go over to the pull down settings and I'll choose one. I'll say crop 5x7 300 ppi. Double click it and then I'll draw out my crop. And look what happens. My crop is in the wrong direction. I want it landscape, not portrait. So then I'm going to click this to cancel. I'm going to press the double arrows here and that's going to change it around for me. And my resolution's kept at 300. Most people would tell you clear this field and then do it, but I don't. That's just a personal thing. But most people tell you not leave the resolution alone. If these settings bother you because they are sticky, so if you use the crop tool again, these settings are going to be remembered. You can just clear it. Now let me just draw my crop here. All right. Let me see how this looks. Okay, I don't like it. So you know what that means? I'm going to draw it out again. There we go. It always seems to take 2 times to do this for some reason. There we go. I like it. And then I'm going to maybe just go up a little. There we go. If that snapping bothers you, I believe you can go to Window and turn off the snap and then watch what happens. I can freely move it. There we go. And then I'm going to press the check mark to commit it. And the image shrank. What happened? Well, let's go back to image size. Remember we had 69.9 million pixels. Now we have 18 million. But we do have a width of 7, a height of 5, and a resolution of 300. So it should print fine. So let's go ahead and click cancel. And in the next lesson, I'm going to show you the print command.